Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers, sojourners of truth, the 144 chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are, especially the third degree chosen ones, right? I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I'm akilahtextri in the divine energy essence of it all. If this is your first time here, welcome to the 5D, because as usual, I'm reporting to you live from 5D. None other than no other place that I could be other than in 5D. So welcome here with me. And the Soul Drive family, whoever else is here and been here with me, right? And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to, infuse on this light grid, right? In my I am that I am, right? Beam me up, Scotty, beaming up to you, beaming down to you from the celestial to the earth. So that's why I proclaim my name still. Celestial earth, this is who I am. All right, so let the celestial earth speak. Before I go any further, is there anything else? As usual, if you made it this far, just started, hello. But if you made it this far, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Look out for the calendar, the 5D calendar at a 5D corner near you. Still got these calendars. It's beautiful. The corrections, the adjustments are even beautiful. So thank you for those who have been patient in waiting on the adjusted calendar. And the Detox to Detach. This is the final, like these 2 weeks we going into now is going to be the strict detox. So if you haven't gotten already, I'm giving one last call. If anything resonates with you and you feel like, yes, this is for me, I need to detox, to detach, and it's free. Feel free to link in the email. I believe I put it in below in the description. If it's not in this one, check in the previous one. However, feel free to check in, do your detox to detach, and it's going to be very helpful in what we have going on right now. So let me just jump right into it. This is 202 is the codes I've been getting. I don't know who else has been seeing it, but I've been seeing a lot of 202. A lot of us have been seeing a lot of numbers. So for some reason, I feel called to speak on this one. Neutrality within the harmony of duality, which is, you know, what two is when I speak of the two dimension and so forth. It's the harmony of duality. All right, so that's what that 202 is, and I'm going to speak a little bit more on it. But this is also for us to understand the Exodus, right? This is Exodus, and I'm seeing this on a whole nother level. Usually we think Exodus and we think get out of here, and that's part of it. But this is an Exodus where we are to understand the neutrality within the harmony, within the two, right? As there are two sides of things happening, right? And usually people want to jump out of one into the next, jump out the pot into the fire, however you want to call it. This is not for us to react, right? It is for us to be responsible, responsive, which is feminine energy. That's why the divine feminine energy is really important right now in ushering us through this transit. As we traverse through these energies, the divine feminine energy is really what's needed in so many ways to help us recalibrate, to help us remember, to recollect our memories, because the memory is the feminine energy, to listen to our feelings, which is also subconscious, the feminine, to listen to our intuition. Our instructions are in the feelings, so we can be able to trust our intuition and listen to our intuition. All of these are divine feminine qualities, and being receptive rather than in such a forceful mode, wanting to do. This is a time where we are to really be receptive and be able to see what's going on so we can know what moves to make, right? So this is, as I speak on this, why I'm saying Exodus, because about last week sometime I got this message, this what would I call it, I call it sleep vision, right? Because I'm not quite sleep, so I'm not dreaming, I'm not quite sleep, I'm in this like sleep vision state, right? Or vision sleep. And in it, I remember getting this strong message of exodus, like this strong message of a movement, a moving about that is going on, that is happening. And it's happening on so many levels, not just physically, because we think that and we think, oh, I got to move. It's not physically. Yes, a lot of things are shifting and changing, but it is also, and most importantly, in the mind. There is a major exodus that is happening in the mind, and I don't think people understand to how deep, to what degree, that we are exiting the old conscious state of mind. And this is why, as Dolores Cannon spoke about, this has never happened during this time where so many people are having a mass transitioning, a mass movement into another paradigm of ourselves without dying, without literally, and I don't mean to be so morbid, but without transitioning in the physical body, right? A lot of us are transitioning in our bodies that we're in now, so we don't have to leave the body to come back again, right? This is something that's happening on a massive scale. So when I say exodus, there is an exodus on multiple levels. If you can get what I'm saying, this is multidimensional that I'm speaking. This is not one-dimensional. There's an exodus in the mind. There's the exodus in our state of mind. There's an exodus of how we're leaving our communities. This exodus is showing up as a split, right? So we're seeing things really split, especially for those who know we're going into the new earth, and for those who maybe have seen that image of the earth, you know, just splitting more and more, further and further apart, until it's like completely splitting apart. I always say, think of it as a baby. Like when a baby is developed, you know, you start as one cell and it splits and splits and splits, and, you know, think of it kind of like that. We are splitting multiple dimensions, and we're splitting. And so we're splitting, but we're still one and the same, right? It's like there has to be this split that happens. The cells have to split in order for this new life to come forth, right? When the baby is born, it's one baby, right? It's not all the cells that have been splitting. Think of it like that. There has to be a split. There has to be things that are like splitting apart and apart and apart, but it's all for the development of this one baby, this one new life. So this one new life, which we're going to call New Earth, the 5D that is being birthed right now, or we're in our beginning stage, depending on how you look at it, because it depends on where you are in your 5D stage. Some people are just being birthed into 5D. Some of us have already been birthed into 5D, and we're in the infant stage, or, you know, however you want to look at it. For some people, they are just now giving labor. You know, they're just now, you know, having contractions and having labor into being birthed into 5D. So we're at many stages. However, what is clear right now is this split, and we're seeing it, like I said, within our families. We're seeing the split. We're seeing it a lot more now. For those of us who've been seeing it, I'm pretty sure, like myself, I'm seeing it much more clearly, much more obviously. It's so obvious, it's so clear. Things that maybe other people are shocked at. If you're where I'm at with it, it's like, no, that's not a shock. It's just really clear though. Like, man, they really showing up and showing out. So you're really seeing the twofold of a lot of things. And so when there's a split and you see two things, there tends to be these polarities, these two sides, right? The duality. And this is why the 202 has been really the message that has been blasting through the airwaves for me right now, and anyone else who's been picking it up. And the 0 in the middle is neutrality. It's the point of neutrality, and that's why I said it's the neutrality within the harmony of duality, which is what the 2 is. It's between two number 2s, 202. And it's saying that we have to get to that point of neutrality in the middle, so that we can have that harmony of duality, because the duality is really to bring us the creation. right? Without the harmony of duality, there can be no creation, right? Without the mother, father, the child can't come forth, so to speak. Without the positive, negative charge, we cannot create, as I've said before in one of my previous videos. Without that creative and receptive energy, you know, however you want to look at it, the masculine, feminine energies, without those dualities harmonizing, especially on this plane, we cannot see the creation of time as it exists in time. So it is a part of the complexity of our existence. It's a part of our memory complex, right? Which is what I'm going to lead into when I speak of this separation, because the separation is really an illusion. And you'll see it so when you truly understand what the duality is. You'll see that the separation is just like I said, with the development of the baby. There's a splitting and a splitting of cells, but that too is an illusion, because it's really for the one baby. It is still for that one essence of life, right? Or how we can look at it, it is still for the one body of humanity, the one cell of, or soul, however you want to look at it, as this earth. This earth is one, but we are all different cells with on this cell called earth, if you can look at it like that. We're all different cells on the earth that operate for the one. So, you know, kind of keep that in mind as I share this information on the 202. So with that said, it's just understanding this Exodus. It was really speaking out to me clearly to highlight to us that we are to be in an Exodus movement, but it's the way that we're in it, right? It's not to clash against each other, to fight against each other, although we're seeing evidence of it. It's not to be so fixated on the polarities, but it is to go to a point of neutrality within this Exodus, to gain clarity, insight, to find the harmony within the duality. And as you harmonize, you will see where you need to go, where you need to be physically, or even in your mind. Some of us are, like I said, moving physically, so know where you need to go, right? As I spoke on what was that other, being trapped, right? The 10-year agenda, right? This is all a part of that. Everything is layered. Knowing where you need to go. A lot of us are working on that Exodus. This is what we're seeing evidence of right now. And utilizing all the angles of light, the cosmos, to help guide us. We really have to start being more in tune with the cosmos as a language. It's a language that is speaking to us where to go, giving our directions and our guidance, and how we take it is all upon us, right? But we must listen and utilize the tools. Look at what things are lining up for us while we're still in this Capricorn window. We're coming to the end of it as we come to the next full moon in Capricorn, again at what, 29 degrees. So there is an ending, right? So we were in this window and we were supposed to operating our responsibilities. So what are we responsible with? Responsibility, accountability, and retribution are really the season that we're in. So whatever retribution we may be seeing, feeling, sensing that feels unfair, whatever it is, it's for us to have accountability. Go to the point of neutrality so you can have accountability, right? And so that we can be able to hold ourselves, you know, responsible for that which we see, what we are to be. And then we can find the harmony, right, from that point of neutrality. So it's really important to have a different perspective, gain a true perspective, know where we need to be and go, right? This is really important in these times. Be able to restructure, be ready for that exodus in your soul, that exodus in your mind, that exodus in your spirit, in your energy body, whatever it is, there is an exodus, and we have to start making that movement, moving towards it, right? So with that, let me share what I got, and we'll, you know, break that down as I go through it. I want to make sure I get in that exodus movement of your people. Bob Marley wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. It's such a important resonance to that song right now. It's funny, they say his lyrics are timeless. It really is, and it's so exalted, in these times, right? Without further ado, let me get into the 202 so we can know what it is. So while we're clearly experiencing the split in multiple ways and seeing the separation of worlds, it is to know that separation is an illusion as a distortion of memory, charged in a fixed polarization of varying beliefs within the souls of men. So as I said, it is an illusion, and it is charged in what? Distortions. It's charged, it's a distortion of memory that is charged in polarizations, right? So as memory complex beings, we become distorted in our thinking and our feeling and our incoherencies and things like that. That distorts our memory complex. Therefore, we start to see an illusion, and we start to see the separation, and it is that illusion that we see, right? Which is really the distorted memory, but it is charged in the fixed polarities or the polarization of all of our varying beliefs in our souls. So this is why it's important that we work on perspectives, as I said. So this misappropriated view of duality stems from a mind state of lack and unwillingness to change perspectives in order to infuse and integrate the soul, which is the harmony of the two, right? That infusion, that integration is the harmony of the soul. But when we don't infuse, right, if we choose not to infuse with the light, then there is a unwillingness to change our perspectives. When we're not infusing with the light, we're saying no, we're not willing to change our perspectives, because in order to infuse with the light, please know we have to change our perspectives. The light is not going to change for you. The light is what it is. The love that lights the truth, those are aligned with the principles. We have to change our perspectives to align with those principles, right? So the truth of the number 2 is the harmony of duality. That's what it's about. It's not about a split and to pin each other against. As I said, the truth of 2 is harmonizing, right? Which means we must transcend the apparent duality by finding the harmony to infuse with the oneness in the light. So it's remembering the oneness. The truth about the number 2 is knowing that it's not a separation of the two, but it is understanding that through the 2 different spectrums, through the 2 different fuses that infuse together, it is bringing about the harmony that is of the oneness in the first place. Out of the one comes the 2, and the 2 harmonizes and infuses back into the one again. This is ultimately what is happening on so many levels. If I could break that down, this is not the time, but I'm seeing it now as multiple ways that I'm describing this. As we come into this earth, we come from the sea of cosmic consciousness, and we come here, we split, and to be in this world of duality, only to transcend duality, infuse that, and return back into the oneness and the cosmic oneness. And we do it on incremental, smaller levels, even within our mind, how we take thoughts from the divine, right? It splits apart, and then it's for us to integrate it and bring it back into the oneness. This is the way, right, of life all over again. So as the frequencies accelerate and we become more aware of the split within the shift, because we are shifting, 5D shifting, but the more we become aware of the split within the shift, then we are to remember the harmonies that create our experience in the oneness that we come from. So it is a remembering, again, a remembering. We are memory complex, so it's always about having a soul synapsis and having the remembering of what the harmonies that create. As I said earlier, we need the harmony, we need the duality, the harmony of the dualities to create, right, that next thing, to create the sun, to create whatever you choose to create and manifest, right? We have to harmonize in order to create whatever our experience is in that oneness, right? It's not to get caught up in the illusion of separation, but to acknowledge the distorted memory and transcend it through the harmony of duality that creates a true experience in the development of our new timeline. So what is that saying? That it's not for us to get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost. Don't get caught in these separations, y'all. Politics, politricks, all of these things that are coming to separate. Do not get lost in it. And some of it is coming up to highlight to us what needs to be adjusted. And that's okay, but it is for us to acknowledge, hey, this is a distortion of memory. It's to acknowledge it. And once you acknowledge it, then you transcend it through the harmony. You can't harmonize if you don't acknowledge the distortion, right? Faithfully, we're getting that. You cannot harmonize unless you acknowledge the distortion, or if you're carrying that distortion with you, therefore attempting to balance and harmonize, but not quite ever getting to the point of harmony, right? So we need that in order to have that harmony of duality that creates our true experience in the development of our lifetime, of our timeline in this lifetime. Let me say it that way. It's really the development of a new timeline, because in order for us to expand into 5D, please know we are jumping, we're quantum leaping, and we're jumping timelines, timeline after timeline after timeline. It's not just one timeline. We're leaping and we're going into the next timeline of ourselves until we enter into the expanded part of that consciousness, until we enter into the expansion of 5D. And even within 5D, you are continuing to jump timelines, right? So the 202 is recalling us and escorting us to the point of neutrality in order to find that harmony of duality in any situation. So when you see 202, I'm sharing that with you because this is how I was seeing. It's like a recall. 202, 202, come back. Get to the point. It's escorting you. It's like, come on, get to the point of neutrality. Because a lot of times we can't see through the duality, especially in its chaos, in its chaotic form, unless we get to the point of neutrality. So it's kind of escorting us to that point of neutrality in order to find the harmony in any situation. The point of neutrality allows us to come to middle ground, right, by stabilizing our views, to release from the bias constraints we hold and be opened to the other side, right? So it is important we get to that. That neutrality is what it stabilizes our views, like I said, with all that chaos. And it helps us to release us from our biased perspectives, our biased constraints that we have, right? And allow us to be open to whatever that other side is, whatever that opposition is. We also need to be open because there's something we need from that opposition to find the harmony. It's the yin and yang, right? It allows us to be evolved. It allows us to be receptive at this midpoint and able to find the harmony on both sides. I see you over there, I see you over there, right? Which sees the unity. When you can do that and you do this is what allows you. It is what sees the unity. When we find the harmony on both sides, which is sees the unity in love, because love is what transcends us out of those fear-based thoughts, out of that place of lack. Remember, that mind state of lack is what's holding us in certain perspectives, right? As I said earlier, was an unwillingness and a mind state of a lack, right? That distorted memory, right? It's the misappropriation. It's a misappropriated view. So we have those misappropriated views because of a mind state of lack, which come from fear-based thoughts. So when we do this in love, love is the only thing that can cancel out fear. And I'm not talking about fairy tale love. I'm talking about divine oneness love, infinite love, right? When we see the unity in love and transcend the duality by doing what? Restoring the memory oneness. Restoring our memories oneness at what? 0 point. So it's bringing us back to zero, back to the neutrality. That's why that 0 in the middle is so important. It's like bring it all in, start from 0 point, and then you'll see both sides. You will see that you can extract something from here and you can extract something from here, and on both ends you will see the unity. When you look over here, you will see something that's different from over here, but you will see the unity over here that unifies you with that concept over there. And when you look over here, you'll see something that, yeah, it's different from this, but I can see the unity that unifies me with something over here. It's not everything, okay? Everything over here is not going to agree with everything over here. But we are, in our wisdom, we are to extract what we do not need, utilizing wisdom. But we have to be at a point of neutrality so that we're not biased. That's the whole point. Remove, kick out your bias, whatever it is, your opinions, your preferences, your likes, it has to be null and void, right? And when you truly, this is called self-mastery too. It takes a certain level of self-mastery to be able to throw your opinions and like just put your ego on the shelf. That's what I call it sometimes. Like, look, take your ego out, because all of those opinions, preferences, likes and dislikes come from our ego attachment, which blocks our crown chakra, right? So in order to really, we have to activate that crown chakra, full connectivity, take that ego out and say, you know what, let me put it on the shelf, right? I'm not saying don't be you. I'm saying take you out of the equation for a moment, put it on the shelf and go to a complete space of neutrality where you're not looking at the either or sides, just standing in that neutral space and then being receptive to see where to go, right? So as the old paradigms, this is the last part, as the old paradigms are falling away while the new and true paradigm is developing, because that's what's happening, we're witnessing more differences that are appearing as chaos. And I say appearing because I know it looks chaotic. Some people be like, what's she talking about? It is chaotic. It's not an appearance. It is, but that's because you're looking with these two eyes. We got to come to the point of neutrality. We got to look with that third eye. And this is why, you know, I'm going to explain why I see this. Let me say this. Well, I'll finish first what it is. But we're witnessing the differences that are appearing as chaos, right? That chaos is really behind us, and it is the debris of exposure and revelation that no longer serves us, which are rising to the top and surfacing. Let me say that again. That chaos that we think is really behind us. That's the Kali Yuga. That's the age, the Iron Age. We're out of the Iron Age, right? Where we have left the Iron Age, or we're leaving the Iron Age. That is behind us, right? We are in the Bronze Age. We are ascending, as I said, back into the Golden Age, right? So why I say that is a lot of us are getting caught up in the debris of the chaos. That chaos that you think is there is really behind us, and it's really the debris of what is being exposed and brought to light, the revelations that no longer serve us. It's like, excuse that noise behind me, it's like the revelations that are coming. This is why Pluto is doing what it does and where it is. You know, I gotta revisit that in another video. I want to talk about our what Pluto is doing, where we are with Pluto that is ushering us into the Aquarian age. It's like bringing that revelation, that death to rebirth transformation that we need to get the picture to say, hey, shake this off. This is not where we are anymore. These revelations are coming to say, this no longer serves you. This no longer serves us in our soul, individually, collectively, in society, in our families, okay, fireworks still popping, in our families, right? These things no longer serve us anymore in our relationships, in humanity. They no longer serve us, right? This is why Chiron is in Aries. The things from the age of the ram, we need to heal those wounds. It no longer serves us, right? So these things that are rising to the top and resurfacing so that we can have the accountability and the responsibility to remove it. That's why these things are coming up, so we can see it. As I said earlier, it's about acknowledging the distorted memory so that we can find that harmony and do what must needs be done. If you don't acknowledge it, if we don't have accountability, this is why this season we in is so important. Don't take it for granted being between these two Capricorn full moons. This box, this time slot or space, whatever you want to call it. I call it an opportunity to be responsible and accountable. We got to pull up our big girl drawers and our big boy drawers and really find that accountability and be responsible to let some things go. Be responsible for your actions. We have some mothers and fathers, we have parents that don't want to be responsible for how they have been showing up in the family dynamic, and elders that don't want to be responsible for how they've been showing up in the family dynamic. We got to be willing to face ourselves and say, you know what? Yes, this is true. I've done this, and because of my actions, this is why this is here. Now I am empowered and I can change my actions. You cannot change what you do not know is existing. If you don't know you're in distorted memories, you can't change it. Right? If you're not aware, if you don't have accountability and you're not aware, you can't change it, right? So have the accountability, as I said, responsibility to move it, right? We're being called to the point of neutrality, come to the middle, to face our demons in duality. Let me say that again. We're being called to the point of neutrality to face our demons in duality. That duality that you're seeing as chaos, that is the demons that we hold. Our demons, our unhealed wounds is what I call demons, right? Not goblins and goblins, Halloween demons. I'm talking about the unhealed wounds that we hold within us that become our demons. And then we latch on to a polarization through fear-based thoughts. Those are the demons in duality. Those are the misappropriations of duality. So we're being called to the point of neutrality to face those demons in duality and stand in the receptivity of oneness, remembering that we come from oneness to find our harmony in the duality. So in order to find the harmony of duality, we got to face the demons in duality, and we have to transcend it, right? This is our destiny. This is our destiny as we traverse through the dimensional timelines to shift into 5D in this new earth expansion. This is our destiny that we're moving to, that's calling for us. So coming to this point of neutrality is extremely important. And yes, this is Exodus. This split that is happening is Exodus. It's like, as I say it, I'm beginning to even see why the waters split. You know, when they say Moses part the Red Sea, I'm speaking metaphysically. There's always a metaphysical reason. When I read any story in the Bible, it's metaphysical. I do not take it literally. So it's understanding that these waters, it takes me to the point metaphysically. I'm seeing the waters split, and I'm like, yeah, when there's an Exodus, there's a point where you gotta part the waters. You gotta see the split happening, and waters usually represent emotions, right? Energy and motion. So those emotions, those energy emotions have to split. We have to part it, and then we have to go down the middle through the point of neutrality between the two. So 202 is hollering at you to say, hey, boo, what you do? 202, we getting ready to move. Every time you see it, know that it's calling you to a point of neutrality so you can take another step in your exodus, and another step and another step. Know what your exodus looks like. As I said, some are physically leaving locations, some are in the mind, some are both. Before you can leave locations, you need to also know what's the split in your mind. What's the exodus? Where are we leaving? What paradigm am I leaving and going into, right? What is it that is the next call for me? Some of us are leaving, we're leaving our carbon-based bodies into crystalline bodies. Your body is splitting. Your mind is splitting. There is so much. This is Exodus, right? So I'm going to leave that there. Any reminders? If you didn't come in earlier, let me go ahead and remind you. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. If this is something that resonates with you, let me know how you feel. Have you been getting sleep visions? You know, if you don't have, if it resonates and you don't know what to say, just put in 202. You know, 202, stars, hearts, whatever, however it resonates for you. But let me know what that 202 is like. Have you been seeing 202 a lot? And have you been feeling some, like it's saying something to me, right? And maybe I brought the fullness of it to you. So, you know, now you have the message. Whenever you see it, neutrality, within the harmony of duality, I need to get to a neutral point. I need to get to a standing ground so I can be stabilized and receive what I need to receive and see the harmony within this duality, so I can always be in oneness with it all, in oneness with the light, and in the totality of it all. So with that, any other reminders? The calendars. Get your calendar at a 5D corner near you. Information will be in the description. If not this one, look in the previous video. And the same thing with the Detox to Detach. If this is for you, if you are in Exodus, if you are seeing 202 and you want to practice, you want to put it into practical application, I'm telling you, this Detox to Detach is really helpful. So this is the last call that I will do for it. I'm actually going to be closing out after this meeting. So if you get to me even tomorrow, because we start tomorrow, I'll be able to catch you up and have you rolling right on in with us. When we begin the strict part this week, strict detox, no carbs, no meats, no sweets. It's really going to be detoxing the mind, the body. I'm going to say the mind body complex, right? The spirit is what it is. I don't got to detox the spirit. We need to detox the mind body so that we can be in tuned and attuned to the spirit. So with that said, love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.